The umbrella body of the local government administration in Nigeria, the National Union of Local Government Employees, is disappointed that nothing tangible is being done to begin the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment, which last year granted financial autonomy to the 774 local government areas in the country. The Apex Court on July 11, 2024, declared as unconstitutional the long-standing practice of state governors controlling local government funds and directed allocations to be paid directly into the local government accounts. Now, 6 months after, state governors continue to receive and control these allocations, defying the judgment. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to make the point about the need for strict obedience to the judgment on the matter. Welcome to Newsday, Mr. Sobowale. Happy New Year. It's good to see you.
You're late.
Welcome to 2025. This is my own first time seeing him this year. Mr. Sobowale, we're still here. Supreme Court's ruling on this financial autonomy 6 months after, it still remains unimplemented. What does this delay signal about the relationship between the federal, state, and local governments in Nigeria? And why are we still seeing this? Why are we not seeing the implementation of something that has been clearly, the judgment has clearly been given in court?
That's right. There are two issues at work. There is resistance against the reforms of the government, and there is a challenge of the rule of law. Take it from those two. I take the analysis from those two angles. You see, even the president himself has acknowledged that he's facing challenges. In his budget speech, he said he will not allow bureaucracy that will not implement government policy. Now, I think we discussed this sometime, and I mentioned the example of the US, where Trump, even though he has not come in, is talking about a Department of Government Efficiency. This is the implementation now is a matter of government efficiency. That is that. And you can see that it is the beneficiaries now who are being very mature and patient about it. The association, local government. But you see, what is on is that government thinks it has friends, but it has seen now that it has enemies in high places, even enemies from within. Because it was the Attorney General of the Federation that went to court, took the governors to court and secured that judgment. And government put in place a committee to implement it, made up of all relevant, important ministries and institutions that he thought would thwart the thing. Mm-hmm. But now it has been thwarted. But then there's some ray of hope. Even the local local government union has admitted that they say the thing will be implemented by the end of January. So, in one fell swoop like that, you see, it is government inefficiency at work, thwarting government policy, and making it almost unimplementable. Yeah. But you see, on the rule of law side, on the rule of law, you run a presidential system. You have three arms of government. You see, this is not peculiar to Nigeria. The CG of the US just gave his 24 report, and he was saying that federal government agencies are trying to challenge the Supreme Court judgments there, but that it is not for them to do so because the rule of law depends on an independent judiciary. Mm-hmm. It is an independent judiciary that will make sure that government is allowed to do its work and that there's no breakdown of law and order. But that in doing it, that court must be impartial and independent. Mm-hmm. You see, you cannot tell the Supreme Court to come and implement the judgment it gave now, but it has given it. Yeah. It now remains for people to respect the rule of law. Even as you are saying it now, you see what is going on in Edo State? It's about this local government too now. They say local government, I saw an interview, they say local government chairman has just been impeached. There is a court injunction restraining that governor from doing what he's doing, and he's doing it all the same. So I am not dismayed. You get me? That's the nature of politics. Every nation, every state has its own peculiarities and its own problems. That's politics. You find a way, you take on the challenges and the threats, and hopefully you resolve issues peacefully at the court and not violently, which is the only thing I don't like. Right.
Well, sir, Mr. Sobowale, we see in different contexts how Supreme Court judgments are, it seems there's no regard for them to a large extent. But what specific mechanisms can state assemblies develop to ensure that governors actually comply with this particular judgment?
Yeah, but, see, you are asking an impossible question. State governments are benefiting. They are down the line. So what do they do? The only thing they can do is what they are doing now, crying foul. And they are doing it in a very mature way. I have respect for the way they have put it. Because they even said they have information. They have information that by the end of January, it will be implemented. If it had been other sectors, they will be protesting now. They will be protesting. That people are impounding their own rights. So let us give them credit for the patience they have shown so far. So that's their own contribution.
This patience pay off.
I mean, they have been patient.
There is a court judge. Nobody can disregard a Supreme Court. Yes. It's just a matter of time. You get me? What I'm trying to say is that it is not peculiar to our part of the world. Even the Trump regime, the government that is coming, the opposition has lined up a battery of lawyers to bring cases to court, up to the Supreme Court, to make sure they don't implement their own policies too.
Well, two
That's
things.
the nature of the rule of law. Yes.
Two things, Mr. Sobowale. I mean, we touched on the state government, but the NULG's president, Akim Ambali, is calling on President Tinubu to enforce the Supreme Court's directive. What specific actions can the president take? And also, on the end of even the accountability at the local level, this push has been so that local governments, there can be more transparency, but there's still concerns about corruption and inefficiency even at the local government level. So what are your thoughts on that?
Look, they just gave this man an award.
Yes, Man of the Year.
It's for tenacity of purpose.
Yes.
There are so many things that you have criticized him that he should not do this, but he kept to his guns. He went to court. I'm sure he will see it through. And he said he was attacking them in his budget speech that he will not tolerate his civil service that will not implement government policies. That's bureaucracy. But then that's his governance. Governance is not a bed of roses. Yeah? Politics is who guess what, when, and how. Yeah. You don't almost do that by seeing issues the same way. They say even two governors now have made laws in their own.
Yeah, I believe Professor Charles Soludo and Alex Oti, they've passed conflicting laws.
These are well-educated people.
Yeah.
But it is the duty of the president now to see that his policies. It will be a very poor, weak president if he does not see his policies through. The strategic management. They say if you do SWOT analysis, you get a strategic plan. You must see your plan through. That is his major challenge now.
Mr. Sobowale, I recall yesterday you gave us a great example when we were talking about the census, what you experienced, about 16 million people were there and day and all that. You gave us a good background. Yeah. Can you give us, if you are aware, the background of how we started seeing delays in the implementation of judgments, how it became a pattern that's been acceptable in our country?
It depends on, you see, the nature of the political system.
Okay.
If it was in a military regime, it's either way. The military may totally disobey and get away with it. But at the same time, if it favors them, they have a Supreme Court judgment. The military can always use force to see it through, but you don't do that in a democratic setup. It is the judiciary that settles disputes. And you do that through litigation. The government expected this. That's why it went to court. That the governors would resist it. It took them to court to secure that judgment, to show them that it is the rule of law that it is advancing. But now it is still saying that after 6 months, after setting up the committee to thwart this, so he has to prove his mettle. as a tough leader now, for which he was given an award, to see that this thing is not thwarted by democracy or anti-government, anti-state forces. This is responsibility.
Well, Mr. Sobowale, we've got about 30 seconds left. I want to ask you this. If tasked with advising the federal government, what immediate steps would you recommend to resolve this impasse?
That's what I've been saying all along.
No, I'm just saying to summarize in case they just tuned in.
Summarize. That's what I've been saying all along.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mr. Sobowale. We appreciate you having you on here, of course.